Like I promised you in the last video, I'm moving back to Canada after 15 years. That's a long time. Let's talk about that because honestly, I never thought I'd be an immigrant in my own country. It's not a joke. And if you're an immigrant, you're moving to Canada or you're moving back after all these years, trust me, you'll be in for a shock because I was. It's not at all what I expected. So many things have changed and it's so complicated, it's not even funny. Let's talk about it. So first of all, your credit rating. It's super important for everything. Opening a bank account, getting a credit card, getting an apartment, your credit rating is paramount. I've lived all over the world where nobody cares about the credit, okay? They just basically assume you're a foreigner, you have money, or you have money, you pay a year in advance your rent, no one cares. Banks generally, they give you a debit card, they give you a credit card with a small limit or tied to your debit, no problem. But in Canada, your credit rating is pretty much used for everything. Opening a bank account, even if you're not asking for a loan or a mortgage, if you don't have a good credit rating, they won't even give you a debit card. Now, my credit rating was okay, but I didn't use it for 15 years. Well, it was very good when I left, but it's now at 580. Now, 580 is very low. Cannot get a mortgage, cannot get a credit card at that. It's too low. It's going to take me about a year to build it back up. Luckily, I had credit cards from abroad, but still that doesn't count. The other thing is, the bank account, now I managed to open it anyway because I'm a Canadian citizen. I explained the situation, I showed them the proof that I was abroad, and they agreed to take the risk, which is a bit crazy. The car insurance, that's mad. I have a BMW. It costs me, $71 a month, according to whatever the website, when I just fill the information where I live and so forth. But when they studied my file and checked with my driver license, they realized I didn't have insurance in 15 years. And because I didn't, it's like I'm a new driver. So now it's $200 a month. Because I don't have a good credit rating, they wanted a year in advance. So that's $2,400 to pay one shot in advance. The medical care. Now, you might have heard that if you're an immigrant moving to Canada, you're gonna have your medical care immediately. This is true in most cases, in most provinces. When you're a Canadian returning, you have to wait for 3 months before you get your medical care. This is crazy. So if you were sick, if I had cancer or something and I come back, I would have had to pay everything until they get me my medical care 3 months down the road. Now let's talk about the driver license. That's a tough one too, because the thing is that you need to exchange it from a previous driver license. You're not coming back to your country and say, yeah, when I was 16, 30 years ago, I passed my driver license. Yeah, I didn't renew it in 15 years, just give it to me again. Doesn't work like that. They will ask you to pass your driver license test again. If you want to avoid this, the only way you can do it is by exchanging your driver license from a valid one that the Canadian government, in my case, allows an exchange from. And I had a Swiss driver license which allowed me to transfer it for a Canadian because there's a reciprocity between the two countries. Now luckily for me, because my two last ones beside the Swiss that had never expired, that's still good because it was diplomatic, is Jamaica and Jordan. And that doesn't worth the plastic they're printed on in Canada because there's no reciprocity between the countries, and basically you can get, if you know that expression, you can get your driver license in the Cracker Jack box over there just by bribing someone, so it doesn't worth a dime, so they don't accept that. So I would have had to pass my driver license again. I managed to skip that step, but that's a problem. Now the other issue is also the lodging. Everything increased, it's insane. I sold my house for $175,000 15 years ago. Now to buy it again, I have to pay about $550. It more than doubled in 15 years. The price of housing in Canada is extreme. Now, I don't know if I'm going to stay in Quebec or Ontario. That's my other thing. Because of a stupid law in Quebec that says that if I went to French school, I cannot send my kid to English school, I might have to go somewhere else, unless I send my daughter to private. We'll find out. But the point is that at the very least, Ontario might be better. Why Ontario? First of all, taxes are better, the economy is better than Quebec, it's more English, it's easier, the province doing way better, and also it's by the water. I love the idea of having a boat again and just be by the water. It's something I love a lot. So I might just buy a house again by the water and that's it. Now that's a bit of a problem considering the fact that my credit rating is not that great, so I'm going to have to find a house that I can pay cash. So we'll see. The other thing that I realize is inflation everywhere. more than other places around the world. I don't know if Canada was behind or something, or Canada's doing very wrong these days with the lack of housing and everything else, but inflation is extreme. You go to a restaurant, it's twice as much as it used to be. I mean, honestly, I go with a friend on lunch and we're talking $45 for both of us, and we barely ate anything. Breakfast about $20 now. That's a lot. Honestly, compared to what it was 15 years ago, that's a lot. Cell phones, everything, very expensive. Now, a lot of things have improved, and I'm happy about that. Okay, so the internet, the cell phones and everything expensive, but improvement, quite across the board. When I left, you didn't have fiber optic everywhere. Now you do. So this is okay. I know it's Canada. I mean, I'm happy to be back in my country, but I didn't know it was going to be that hard. So I'm going to keep you in touch. I'm going to continue working on it. Now I need to figure out how I make money in Canada. What do I do next in my life? And well, it seems to be my YouTube channel is going to just increase because now I have the time to do it. And we'll discuss why eventually I couldn't continue this channel for a bit because I had some issues around the world that I'm going to talk to you about later. But right now, hey, I'm back. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, give me the thumbs up. See you soon.